welcome to another book review. I needed a palate cleanser after the last book, so yeah, if you didn't watch the last one, it was ranty and I hated the book, and so I'm treating myself with discussing a better book. This one was so much better. So this is The Dream Cure: How Recalling Your Dreams Can Heal Your Life by Theresa. If that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, and I have no idea on that last name. It's a mystery. I will just murder it. It looks difficult to pronounce, but this one. So actually, I guess I should have read the subtitle because this is literally what the book is about. How Recalling Your Dreams Can Heal Your Life. Kinda. I don't know that it really heals your life, but basically this book is about how dream recall and working with your dreams can actually be quite beneficial for you. It gives you a lot of insight into your own psyche, into your own experiences, and well, it gives you like the most vague of descriptions for a couple things, like if you see family, if you see a dead loved one, if you dream about your death, if you dream about like your teeth falling out, like kind of the most generic options. It's got like a little bit, but to be honest, I have my same few themes that always show up in mine, and so I always look into mine and I'm like, no, though. And that's the thing with dreams, and she talks about this a lot. Really, you need to look into the meanings for yourself because it is unique to you. And this book talks about a variety of different things to kind of help with dream recall, the importance of it, the importance of sleep, how even like afternoon power naps, like 20 to 30 minutes I think it was, is like ideal if you can. And like literally, hubby does it at work all the time. At his lunch break, he snoozes, and like there's been quite a few afternoons after reading a book I'll be like, I've read like 2 books. I have earned a nap. So I'll take a little snooze while I'm taking care of my dog. Thankfully, knock on wood, she's been very good post-surgery, so she's doesn't need the cone of shame. She is on like doggy downers just when she needs it. If it starts really agitating her, we don't even give her like a full dose and she's fine. And she's mostly just chilling because her leg hurts a lot, and so eventually she will get better. But in the meanwhile, we just get to hang out and take naps and chill, and she's easy as can be to babysit, really. So yeah, afternoon naps, love that. The other things, but overall, basically this is a book on how dream recall and your sleep is very important and actually can be quite helpful to your life, not just your spirituality, but just in general, getting to know yourself. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 star. I really actually loved this. Do all of the things help? No. Like, my husband tried a couple of the tricks because he like very, very rarely remembers his dreams. He usually only remembers like nightmares and like really random ones where it feels a little like an acid trip, where you're like, I don't even understand why. And that's about it. I think it is because he needs like a CPAP machine, because like truly that is why I have my own bedroom, because he is a monster to sleep next to. Like, I have a joke, and it's a terrible joke because I don't even think geographically it completely makes sense, but it's fine. But I used to like tease him all the time that he would be trying to have a chainsaw competition of like that, like when you like rip the chainsaw and it's like, wow, that noise, with somebody in like China. And it was alliteration, you know, chainsaw, China, but like across the freaking planet. And because he just snores so loud all the time, and I think he just needs a CPAP. He doesn't breathe particularly well at night, and he's got pretty gnarly allergies. Like right now, the past, like, I guess by the time you see this it was like last week, but we had some really gnarly wind for a while there, to the point that like trees were getting ripped out of the ground. We don't have hurricanes here, okay? Like, we are nice nestled into mountains, which I realized after, well, actually, to be honest, okay, this is such a side tangent, but like going to Tennessee and them talking about the Smoky Mountains made me laugh so hard. Both me and my husband were like, this is a mountain? Like, this is a hill. And yeah, I don't know what the height requirement is for mountains, but when I think of mountains, I'm thinking the Rockies, the Wasatch Front, you know, the Ochre Mountains. Like, we have mountains. They're big, they're huge. And the Tennessee one just was like this little hill where you're like, oh, so cute. And I don't know what the requirement is. I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, I still think about it. Me and him still laugh about it. Just like at random we'll be driving, and obviously no matter what direction you're facing here, you see mountains. And we just are like, how was that a mountain, dude? That was a hill. And I'm so sorry if you live there. I'm sure there's like a geographical requirement of like the height to count as a mountain, but I'm just like, have you gone west? No. And then every time I get the Chris Ledoux song stuck in my head, because then it's like, yeah, I feel you, Chris Ledoux, because he has a song called Western Skies, and it feels very accurate. I mean, granted, he's singing about Wyoming, but I'm pretty sure the mountain range still goes through there. It's just a little more flat, because like it's Wyoming and like it's flat. But still, I think they still have mountains there. You just don't think about it. It's more flat and it's a windy state. Like, that's kind of the thing they're known for. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that at all. But yeah, it's still on the regular crosses the brain, and you're like, but why? Anyways, back to the book. So the dream recall, my husband tried a few of the things, and I don't think a lot of these tips necessarily help. Like with him, it might, and she does talk about this in the book, that you might need like medical intervention, like a CPAP, so that you can actually breathe, and then you can have dreams, because you might have a medical problem that's inhibiting your dreams. Also, some medications will inhibit that as well. And so, yeah, it's a hit or miss on like the medical side of things if there's a reason why, but most of the time you are dreaming, you just won't remember that you're dreaming. And this book gives some tips of how to help. Like, you're supposed to, and I don't know, like, you're not supposed to like move or even open your eyes after you have a dream. And I'm like, I would just go back to sleep, or I'm still gonna start thinking about my day. And you're supposed to, like, when you write down your dreams, how the F, you're supposed to, like, all of these books are like, you have to sleep in a dark room. And then you're also supposed to have a pen and paper and write down your dreams. And obviously she is not from the US, because she called a flashlight a torch. And little part of me, every time I read it, I was just like, picturing like this like modern apartment looking thing in like the UK. I don't even know, is she in the UK? I don't know if it actually says where she's from at all. I don't think it does. Anyways, but I think it's the UK based on some of the spellings. I think it was like UK. But like, just picturing that you got this modern apartment, and then next to your bed you just have this old torch like from the ancestors, just like this random stick with the thingy on top to make a torch. Yeah, I realize it's stupid, I know, but like, I don't know, I don't understand why we can't just use modern technology, why it's the end of the universe, because there's like this huge thing in the dream culture. Like, I read the other book on dreams not too long ago either, and it was the same thing of like, you can't use your phone, don't have your phone in your room, blah blah blah. No, I'm fine. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a water sign and it just comes easier, but like, it's easy. Like, I have a mega document in Google Docs on my phone, and I have it real easy to find, and most of the time I will even open it before I go to bed, so that if I have a dream in the night, I just have to open the little app, and it's like recent opens, and you're like, bloop, seriously, and I will write it down, because I find it easier on my phone. You can have it to a very low light and just quickly type it out. And then the other thing is, like, you're not supposed to have it like past tense, and I'm like, it's gonna track my brain more to be like, oh my god, but I gotta make sure it's present tense. Just write it however you feel. But then you're supposed to do that like immediately upon waking, and that part I'm like, yeah, kinda, like, still open your eyes, but I'll do that. Like, I don't know, I guess I kind of do it, but not exactly. Like, I'll open my eyes so I don't fall back asleep, and then I'll kind of retrace the dream, and then just to make sure I get the details solidified, and then I grab my phone and like, even before I get out of bed to pee, TMI, but like, I drink a lot of water all of the time. If I don't, my body freaks out, including at night. I don't know how people don't sleep, And I don't, how do you do that? How do you not sleep for like an hour or two and then have to get up to pee all night? I don't, you are unicorns. I can't. It doesn't matter. If I don't drink, I'm gonna wake up so thirsty and still have to pee. So anyways, I will write down my dream before I get out of bed to pee, or so for real, I'm gonna be typing as I'm walking to the bathroom, like just like, okay, this happened and then this happened and then this happened. And before I actually go back to sleep, I'll make sure that dream is fully recorded. And usually it's not much, like a paragraph or two, and make sure I note certain things, like certain colors that stood out, and then I go back to bed and I'm fine. Like, I don't know, there's this thing of like, if you see your blue light from your phone, you're never gonna fall back asleep. I don't have that problem. And the other thing is like, you're not supposed to have like your phone before bed, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. And there was something, I swear I saw it on TikTok, but you can't find things on TikTok ever again. And so somewhere I had heard it that the scrolling at night is something for like anxious or PTSD or something people, that it actually has the opposite effect. It actually has a calming effect, rather than demonizing us to be like, oh my god, how dare you scroll on your phone, you need to just sit in quiet. But then also this book, like, see, my thing, I love to scroll through Pinterest before I go to bed. This book says you should read like a fiction fantasy book before you go to bed, kind of a deal, like, you know, something like where you're imagining a different scenario and whatever. And I'm like, I read cozy mysteries. I don't need that influencing my dreams. Like, I'm good. It's a cozy, but it's still murder. It's still kind of dark. And I don't need that. Versus scrolling through Pinterest, seeing really cute garden designs that I can imagine that I would do one day at a dream house that, like, there's no way it would ever work here because our yard is too small and it's, you know? But I can imagine, and like money, that's a big contributing factor to not doing half my projects anyways, because it's like, it would be awesome to do some of these things. But like, how is that worse? Because it's on my phone, you know? And I always come back to the demonizing of our phones, to how people would demonize books in like centuries past. It was the worst thing you could do. It was terrible for your brain. It was horrible. It was awful. It made you stupid. It was dumb. And now everyone's the polar opposite. Books are fantastic. I am biased. I also think books are very fantastic. Writing and reading as much as I do, they're awesome. But like, I don't think your phone is that bad either. Though, one thing that was interesting in here to help to get like, I guess like it's mostly like getting your brain into fantasy worlds and like fictional worlds, is to also play video games. That was one I did not expect. You're supposed to play like 30 minutes a day of a video game. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little permission slip of like, well, you know, for my dream health, I'm gonna need to play more Echoes of Wisdom. I'm just gonna have to do it. It's so hard, you know? Like, it's a really fun game. I don't know about other people if you've played it, but my favorite thing is to use the bed for freaking everything. It's my favorite go-to for like building bridges and stuff, the bed. It's awesome. Like, gravity does not apply. It's fantastic. So maybe that's what I need to have, but I don't have problems with dreams, to be honest. But I don't know. I told my husband he needs to actually read this and then report back, but he reads books way slower than I do because, you know, he has like a full-time job and this is my job, so you know, it takes him a while to get through books, where for me, I literally have read one book today before noon, and that was with also doing laundry, doing a workout, like, and I'm gonna be editing my book for the rest of the day. Like, I read a lot of books. I have more time to do that than him. So anyways, basically this book is mostly just on how to recall your dreams and some techniques and things to try out. I think if you're having struggles doing like dream recall, this is a fantastic book for you. I think it has a lot of different ways that you could look into that. If you don't have a problem with dream recall, I don't know that you really need this, to be honest, because you've already got the biggest step there. Like, it just comes down to interpreting your dreams for yourself. More books are starting to push that anyways, that, you know, these books that give you ideas are only going to give you so much, because your unique, like, psyche is going to tell you stuff. Your unconscious is trying to tell you something that a book is not going to be able to decipher for you. It might give you ideas, but that's about it. So if you're good on dream recall, maybe skip it. If you need help with dream recall, this has a lot in here for you. Oh, one other thing. Now that my camera's overheating, of course. But there was a really cool section that is the only reason I am actually considering buying this and adding it to my mega list of books to buy, because it talks about how to handle nightmares with kids, and that you're not supposed to, which is like, I think it's gentle parenting meets Montessori combined into just like duh, but you're not supposed to like tell your kids like, oh, well, don't be afraid, it was just a dream, whatever. Like, you're supposed to ask them about it and like have them like visualize their way out of that nightmare of like, I don't know, one of my nightmares when I was a kid was like getting chased by like a dinosaur when I was like 5. And so I would instead, in a weird alternate universe, would tell my childhood self of like that like dinosaur that's chasing you, you would have it turn into like a butterfly or something, which wouldn't have worked for me. They were freaking terrifying. I hated butterflies more than anything. Like, that was the one I was more afraid of butterflies than like spiders or snakes. Now it's changed, don't get me wrong, but it's, yeah, I don't know that I would have done that for me personally. But, you know, you have it change the dream and help them to overcome it. It had a lot of really good tips on handling nightmares with your kids, and I think as a witch we have more tools in our toolkit for that than non-witchy pagan parents, if you bother to research into this stuff. If you don't, then obviously you're not going to get very much further than anyone else. But when we look into it more, I think it can help and give them more power back so they can decipher why they're feeling that way and stuff. It's got a lot of really good stuff in there for that. So it is one of the reasons I'm tempted to buy this, just for that section. So anyways, till next time, thank you for coming along for my rambles. Thank you to my Patreon peeps. You also have rambles all of the days of the week, it feels like. And until next time, blessed be.